And I've heard this notion being bandied about for a while, that Christianity is a Western religion. You know, I've heard a lot of Muslims saying it's the white man's religion. You know, it's a way of oppressing us blacks. But in order for us to understand Christianity, we have to go back to its roots. And just think about the place from which Christianity emerged. You know, Palestine. So we could look first at the geography. Geographically, Palestine is connected with Africa and with Asia. It sits right there as a kind of in the centerpiece between the two continents. In fact, some historians identified Palestine at that time as Northeast Africa. Christianity is embedded right there in the context of Africa. Now we can go back beyond Christianity and consider Abraham, who's considered the father of the Jews, who spent time in Africa. Joseph spent time in Africa, and the people of Israel spent 430 years in Africa. Now, when we come to the New Testament, we know that the first non-Jewish convert was an Ethiopian. He was an African.
Yeah.
The first non-Jewish convert to the early church was an African who then takes the religion back into Africa. And so when we look at the actual development of the early church, we see this was primarily an African/Asian religion. The greatest center of early Christianity was an Afro-Asiatic city, which is Alexandria.
Yeah.
Although it was named Alexandria, but it was in Egypt, but it was an African city.
Yeah.
And this is where the great early theologians, the church, were centered. And when you look at the names of the early church fathers, you know, starting with men like Athanasius and Alexander and Tertullian and Origen, even Augustine himself, considered the father of medieval theology, almost all of them are African. So the first 300 years of Christianity had its roots, its foundation in the continent of Africa itself.